In this video, I show you my painted miniatures and 3D printed solution for Aeon Trespass Odyssey. But before we get into today's video, just want to share with you what the GGGGs are for this month. Each month, Bob the Beholder picks some of my Patreon supporters to receive gratitude gifts. And for this month of March of 2023, we have this $50 credit towards Terrainify. They make STL files that you can purchase or they print them for you, as well as paint and flock all of their terrain. Also, two $25 credits for LV427. They make sci-fi terrain, a bunch of different ones. So use the link in the descriptions below to go to their website. Also, they provided this channel link for all of my viewers to get a discount when you make your purchase. This printed and painted Highlands Rebellion Outpost from Deco Quest, as well as two pledges for that Kickstarter that's going on right now. And if I have time to create a video, a Jakata 10-watt diode laser. And finally, $100 to go towards a crowdfunding campaign, which my Patreon supporters are currently voting upon. Go ahead and use the link below to go to my Patreon page to find out more information as we continue to add more items to this month's gratitude gifts. So I did do an unboxing video for Aeon Trespass Odyssey. If you want to see that video, go ahead and check it out here. But I was looking for a storage solution so that I knew how to put all of the cards and chits back into the box along with all of the miniatures. And after a quick Google search, I did find this set of STL files from Kurosh Nahavandi. And if you print out all of his files, you are able to put everything back into the box. Now, one of the reasons why I really like this files is because he is the same as myself where I don't sleeve all of my cards. I only sleeve the ones that are shuffled a lot. And so this system is only going to work for you if you are sleeving the most shuffled cards and you keep the other cards unsleeved. And he does provide a list of the cards that he does sleeve. This system won't work if you end up sleeving everything. So there are other options out there, but I chose this as my preferred method because of that fact that we have in common. Also, this file isn't free. You do have to pay $10. Actually, it's tipping him on the website Ko-Fi, and I will provide links below to go to that site if you are interested in giving him $10 for a coffee. You can give him more than that if you want to tip him, and that will give you access to these files. And he will respond to your email and will send you a link where you can download all of these files. Also, he does have a video, which again, I'll post in the links below, where he shows you how to put all of these things back into the box. But to be honest, the audio quality is so bad, especially later on in that video, that I'm going to provide my own boxing of how to put this all back in and where all of the cards go into each one of the boxes, because I don't think that was explained very clearly. And also, I really like how he separated out all of the cards based on the cycle that you're at. And if you're like me, you can color code it to match. So the red here, I use red PLA to match up with cycle 2 because all the cycle 2 cards are red. The cycle 1 cards you can't see right now, but that is, I printed out that in bronze, or is actually brown. And then the cycle 3 is in purple. So you're able to color code it if you want. You don't really have to. My go-to PLA color is black, so most of the things that you see here will be in black. But I did also vary up the colors for the player tray boards that you see over here. And I did go ahead and print an extra one, because even though this is a 4-player game, I'm trying to figure out a way to have it be 5-player since my game group is more than 4 people. But this is a fantastic way to keep all of your cards organized, and especially I just love the way that you can keep all of your cycles all in one place rather than having it all scattered around. So that's super convenient in keeping all the things together for each cycle. Also, I did have to modify one of his files, and that was for the trauma cards that are shown here. He did have it sort of split here so that you did have a discard section, but I actually got rid of that because my sleeves that I use for these smaller cards are too thick and it wouldn't fit all the cards. So I basically did take out the middle section so that all of the cards would fit in here. I also opted to print out his card dividers, which is super handy. And then you use multicolor layered printing in order to have the actual card title on the divider available on there. so that makes it really convenient as well. You don't obviously have to do that. You can create your print out on your paper printer, any dividers that you need, but I just found that to be convenient since Kurosh went ahead and provided that in his file set. Also here I have a picture of all of the miniatures that I've painted up. Now this isn't all of them, but I did work on trying to paint up all of the Titans, at least the ones that I know of or could find pictures of. And then I did focus in on the monsters that I knew at least was part of cycle 1 and some additional ones. Honestly, I started painting before I even sorted out all of my cards, so I didn't even know which ones were in which cycle. So I sort of looked randomly on the internet and looked at what other people were painting, and that's how I went ahead and decided. But you don't have to paint up all the miniatures. You can focus in on cycle 1, which is the starting Titans that you're going to be able to start off with, as well as this hand dude and this bull type creature, as well as this geometric monster. And then obviously you need this marker as well. But I painted up a ton of the Titans that really won't appear until the later cycles, so you don't really have to do that. I still have about half of the box left that I still have to paint up, but I'm going to wait and see what I need as the cycles go along before painting up all of them. But I feel like I have a good head start in making sure that I have a good number of the miniatures painted up already. And the method that I used is where I spray paint everything black and then I zenithal it with a rattle can white, which I know it's better to use an airbrush, and I did a whole video about what's the best undercoating. If you want to check that out, go ahead and check that out here. But overall, I found that to be the quickest and easiest way to get these miniatures painted with speed paints and out onto the board as quickly as possible. Now, I haven't played the game yet. I had really was excited about playing. We were scheduled to play a couple weeks ago, but then I ended up getting sick and had to cancel that game night. So I'm looking forward to finally playing this. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I'll get my first couple of games in, go through the tutorial, and then start off, and am excited about this. So once I am able to play a couple of times, I might come out with a review video, especially comparing it to Kingdom Death Monster. But there are a couple other videos out there that are saying that people in general are enjoying this game because there's a little bit more dice mitigation than there is with Kingdom Death Monster. So we'll wait and see. I'm excited to try out this game since I do like KDM a lot. My game group likes that game a lot. And hopefully we'll be able to figure out a way to incorporate a 5th player into the gameplay. So hit the like button and subscribe. And again, use my link below to go to my Patreon page to see what the GGGGs are for this month. And stick around if you want to see how to put all of this back into the box as I give explanation, as well as what cards you're going to want to put into which container. Otherwise, happy gaming. We'll see you next time. All right, so first up, what I want to show you are the primordial cards, and you can tell which cycle they are part of based off of the back of these cards. It will tell you, actually all of the brown cards are going to be cycle 1. So grab the 3 primordials, which is going to be the Labyrinthoros, the Hecaton, and the Alpha Temenos. So grab all of their AI cards and go ahead and I sleeve them since you do shuffle these up. And you have the different phases down here, and as well as the BP cards and the AI cards, as well as some of these cards. I go ahead and put all of these in here. The sleeves that I used are from Sleeve Kings, and these are just standard American size, and they fit really well. If you do use thicker sleeves, it might be harder to fit in here, but as you can see, there's actually some room. And then this portion is the starting cards, tech cards that go in this really thin slot. The other cycles, you will be unlocking this as you go along, so they don't start off with any. And then I do go ahead and sleeve all of the exploration cards. And I went ahead and, like I mentioned, printed out this card divider because it you can keep the active ones, active exploration cards in front of this, and the inactive ones behind, or vice versa. It doesn't really matter. Then you want to stick all of the Fated Nemos cards, as well as these, not curse cards, I don't remember, but when you take wounds, and then the tech cards also go here. So all of these cards, which you don't sleeve because you're not really mixing them up, they all go in here. And then this follows the same pattern of having secret cards, clue cards back here, which are all of these cards. And then these aren't labeled, but this is basically wound cards, as well as these tech cards here. And then all of the gear for Cycle 1. And again, these are brown, so that's how you know. So all of this goes together, and I went ahead and stuck all the brown cards or Cycle 1 cards here to the right. Same thing with Cycle 2, which is red. You'll notice that these cards are red, all of the gear card here, and then the 3 primordials, Cyclonus, the Chimera Metasios, I know I'm totally mispronouncing these, and the Nietzschean. So those are the 3. And I haven't painted up some of these yet either, but it'll be a while before I get to Cycle 2. And then go ahead and stick that there. And then I'm not going to go through Cycle 3, but basically the same thing with Cycle 3, so that all 3 cycles are all along here on the bottom. Next up is the Hermesian Pursuer and the Burden. And I also, for the AI deck, BP deck for these, I do go ahead and sleeve these as well. And here's the Burden in the front, and the Hermesian Pursuer here in the back, along with their BP cards. And these are aptly named. And this goes in right here at the end, like so. Next up is sort of the random tray, and I did run out of red PLA here, that's why I finished the print in black. But this is your save box, where you're going to have cards for the current state of your campaign. You can stick it in here. I mean, overall, it's a spot to fill up this space over here. But I appreciate that. I have some extra card dividers that I printed out unlabeled, so I'm just sticking them here for now. Alright, next up you have this tray, which holds all of these larger cards. And I go ahead and put this down here, sideways like this. And then here are the player dashboards, and you actually put 2 of these side by side, like this. That goes into this tray, fits right on that tray, and then you can stick the 2 hero cards or Titan cards right in here. It slots in here like so. Now, I do want to show you something which I think is super cool, that all of this slots here on the side, what that does is it holds cards. You know, it'll be flat on the table, but it holds cards here, equipment cards and various things like that, and then you can store them right in here. And then your tracker here just fits in. He went ahead and printed Rage right in there, so that you can put that there. As well, cards go in these slots up here, so that makes it super handy. So you have tons of places where you can save table space by having these. And then the second set, this goes right on top there, along with the cards. So that makes the player dashboard super easy. And then here we have the secret cards, regular size, the bigger cards here. You have the ones in envelopes, and then you have the smaller secret deck right here. So all the secret cards go in here. And I was a little bit concerned about this sticking up, but actually the miniature tray that goes over it actually won't crush it, and that slots in right here. Now this holds all of your dice like this, with the 2 extra dice down here at the bottom. And this is, I stuck in my single wound cards here, as well as the Kratos cards, and then the Moiros cards, and terrain cards down here at the bottom, but that's what I use. and this goes right here on top. Here are my minor major grave trauma cards, and as I mentioned before, this is the original one that I printed out, and I realized that my sleeves are too thick that it actually wouldn't fit. So I went ahead and used Microsoft 3D Builder just to take these middle sections out so that all of my cards can fit in there like this. So that makes it super easy to do. And then the oval cards I just put in with the graves since there are only 3 slots available. And this goes in right here. Here I'm going to go ahead and grab the terrain cards, which there are actually 2 sections to this, where this section is holding all of these square cards, and then this is holding all of the others, where actually 2 of them you would think go down here, but actually they slot in up here just because there isn't enough space. And that's how that works, where you have these smaller square cards right in here slotted, and then the single ones up here along with the long ones down here. So this is super handy to be able to grab the terrain card or terrain pieces as you want. That slots in right there. Next, I go ahead and grab my condition tokens, which I think these are super cool. Ambrosia, you got these, and then you have this deck, the condition deck, down here at the bottom that just slots in right there, which is great. Again, you don't have to sleeve those cards, and he provided a little finger slot so that you can lift this in and out of that section. Here are all of the map tiles, and we go ahead and I did put these bicycles. Again, cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3, and this slots in right here. Here are the 2 token holders, where all of the triangle ones go along here. These super tiny ones actually slot in right there. The extra here on the side, I put these here on the edges. And then everything else I slotted this way, along with these square ones right here go in there. And then right along here are the these markers, and this goes ahead down in here. Now he did put these magnet slots if you do want to create a magnetized cover. He didn't send that file, but I don't necessarily feel like I need that. That's going to slot in here. And these tokens, a bunch of them. We have a ton of these, filling up all of these slots, and then I have the various other tokens slotted in here, and then the square ones, and then these markers over here, and then this one circle I stick here on top like this. And that slots in right there, just like that. And as I mentioned before, I did create a 5th player dashboard, so I just go ahead and just throw this on here. It doesn't really matter because there's enough space under the miniature tray that it doesn't matter that you put one more tray down there. And here I just go ahead and throw the miniature tray like this right on top, along with the cover like this. The rulebooks go in up here, and then finally the battle mat. And that's how it works.